How much does South Africa owe IMF? 9 trillion. Our budget is 3.1 trillion. So we owe 3 times. How do you increase your salary from 2 million to 5 million and there's nothing wrong about it? She knows there's something wrong. Now come back to Palapa. She says, the president is not employed because farming is not an employment. Now me, I'm asking, are you saying farmers are not entrepreneurs? She's told investigate. The Secretary of Parliament. Then she says, I'm conflicted. They say why. He says, he's my lover.
I saw a picture of Nelson Mandela and this leader of DA and Menel while he was still young. So they groomed them very early and very young.
It means Mandela is who we have always said he is. You know, I was sitting with my wife today and watching at Winnie Mandela. And I was saying, how do you come out of prison and leave such a radical woman? And saying that does not mean, I'm not saying Winnie did not make mistakes. But I'm saying this lady kept your surname alive when you were in prison for 18 years. Forget the 27 is alive. For 18 years. You were there. And this lady kept your surname alive. She had her own surname. She could have said, I'm a Dikizet. But she didn't. She kept the surname. And it is her that make the surname known in South Africa and in Africa before Nelson Mandela.
Welcome to Radical Conversation. Another season, another time for another moment. Let's have a great evening.
Great evening. And that man,
How are you?
No, God has always been good. Yeah.
He's faithful.
Very faithful.
Very, very faithful.
Yeah.
And it is because of him that we are able to do what we do.
Indeed.
The power, the strength, and everything comes from him.
Correct.
The air we breathe, the sun that is consistently coming out,
yes,
and everything, it is because of him.
It is because of him.
Yes. A shout out to our viewers who said, welcome back, Genz. We highly appreciate that we are getting there. We are going to get back our numbers.
Yes, indeed. We're happy that our people are responding. We're also happy for those that are correcting some faults in history that we made.
Yes.
We now know that then the Beles are from Kumalo, so at least.
But Ngabozulu.
Yes.
Do you know a tribe called Amashiangani?
Yo,
Bagasoshanga.
Yes. that landed somewhere in Mozambique.
Yes. But in any way, another topic for another day, also that one, where we come from as a people and what really happened.
Yes.
And maybe let's touch on current affairs before we go to Nomzamo, Winnie Tikizela Mandela.
Sure.
You know, when I say this, I remember Babu Credo Mutwa was saying, Nomzamo, Winnie Tikizela Mandela, Kapela. Be careful. A minister has been fired from Parliament, Tolashe.
Sisi.
Yeah.
Sisi.
Yes. Is this a distraction? To change the news?
It's a big one. Actually, it's a distraction that was designed to calm the opposition down to say at least the president is acting. We have to be honest with the president of this country. How do you act on Sisi Tolashe and you fail to act on another minister that sits in your office?
Who is that?
The wife of the Minister of Electricity.
Yeah. Who did the same?
Who did exactly the same? So it becomes problematic for us to really take him very serious when he's doing what he's doing.
That is what I'm saying. So are you in sync with me to say the president is just distorting us?
The president is just distorting South Africans. The president has now come to a point where he believes we are gullible. We can take whatever the thing that they are ready to dish out. This is the ANC. You see, one of the biggest problems and the arrogance of the ANC is thinking that South Africans are gullible. It's their biggest problem.
Balula came and gave marching orders, ludicrous marching orders, and say, and as an organization, they are not moved. They cannot be dictated by the media or anybody else. They remain in belief of Ramaphosa.
The moment you call your people and give them marching orders, you are actually saying to us, I do not trust the comrades to stand for principle. Or you are actually saying there is no principle to stand on, therefore they have to stand on marching orders. Because if they believe that their president was right, the president is correct, the president has done what is right, there's no scandal, you do not have any reason
to call a
meeting to give people marching orders, to even threaten them that in case you do not follow, blah. And there's no need, actually, for Mbalula to pronounce on the support for Cyril. He's the president of their party. There's no need for him to even pronounce that the whole ANC did not discuss the resignation. That's taking us to be gullible. It cannot be correct. We are saying to him it was discussed. We are saying to him you had to give them marching orders, because we are saying to him the center cannot hold. That's what we are saying to him. The center cannot hold.
Hence they did what they did.
Hence the president came and quickly gave a speech and said, let's talk to South Africans.
And he says he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. And one of those things that make us think the president is taking us to be gullible, he then says, when I appoint a minister, I don't give reasons. Obviously, no president gives reasons for appointing ministers. But when you dismiss a minister and you are afraid to say, these are the reasons why I dismiss this minister, you are actually saying, I'm hiding that if there's another minister who has done exactly the same, I should not be accused of being selective.
But he has been selective.
He has been selective. We are asking, what else must Madanga tell him for him to fire Mthunu? We're asking that. And we're not being pushed. We are not requesting the head of Mthunu. We're not interested in that. We're simply saying to the president, act as a statesman. In another country, the president would have fallen on his sword. In another country.
But remember that is lepe. But people are not quite shy, and they do not have morals.
Sure.
We justify wrong things. Wrong is wrong. It must not be justified.
Sure. Sure. South Africa must reach that point. We must be matured enough to not give blind loyalty. Currently, the ANC is taking for a ride 11 million people who voted for it. They're taking them for a serious ride.
But is it not because we are loyal, and the blind loyalty that makes people not to understand politics? We follow politics like we follow soccer. I'm a full Orlando Pirates supporter, and therefore, whilst I remain a Pirates supporter. So I'm an ANC supporter. Whether it blunders or not, I remain the ANC supporter. Isn't that a problem? The ignorance of our people and the lies that comes with that package.
Let's tell South Africans to say, hey, South Africans, wise up, because blind loyalty breeds complacency.
True.
And once there's complacency has got an attitude to breed arrogance.
True.
So we need to look at these three things and start to say, where is the ANC now? I think we gave them blind loyalty, and it made them complacent. And in their complacency,
They became
arrogant.
They said they will rule until Jesus Christ comes.
That's arrogance. That's arrogance. That's saying,
I was listening to the spokesperson of the ANC,
yes,
Mabengu, and she was very arrogant after the Constitutional Court's findings. And I was like, yo,
well, the people are right to say the Constitutional Court did not pronounce on the guilt or not guilt of the president. But the fact that it pronounced that take this thing to, it did it. Let's get it clear. It doesn't say your vote was wrong. Ne? It doesn't stop there. It says take this thing back to impeachment committee. That is an instruction from court. Now, when it is said take this thing to an impeachment committee, the president must say, do I wait for impeachment?
which will expose a number of things.
A number of things, which will also put a number of comrades who took chances for me in a very bad light. Let me give you an example. Keith Sweater of SARS. If you are to be called in a committee of parliament and gets cross-examined, are we sure he's going to survive telling the truth whether this was declared or not? And if it is not declared and you are having, look, there are things that can't be disputed. Cyril did not declare. Cyril had money in his possession. This money is foreign currency. Cyril can't trade in foreign currency in South Africa. He can't. Now, obviously, whether we know the source or we don't know the source, whether this is clean money or is not clean money, the fact that it was in your surface means you have evaded tax. How long was the money there? You don't have a clue. If it's over a year, he owes South Africans a tax of over 8 million rand. He owes banks of South Africa, who in turn owes South Africans money of interest rates. So he's owing a lot of us. And those people that are saying he did not steal, they don't know what is theft.
They don't understand what is theft.
They don't understand what is theft.
Maybe because we are working towards some way. Then there is a public protector.
Hey.
Oga.
My sister commits a blunder after a blunder. I've never been shocked that way.
She's advocate.
Before we even come to Palapa, she's told investigate the Secretary of Parliament. Then she says, I'm conflicted. They say why. He says, he's my lover. What is he saying? That when I am married and my wife commits a crime and I'm a police officer, I can't arrest my wife. I must seek assistance. And remember, I can seek assistance. There's a number of police stations that can arrest. But there's only one public protector.
But can't she be excused and deal with the
She's got a deputy.
Yes.
She's got a deputy. She's not investigating personally. She can delegate this thing to a deputy and say, even make pronouncements about it, get those people who are investigators within her office. She's not doing the investigation personally. And then say, investigate and then compile a report and then pronounce on the report.
Without my involvement.
Without my involvement. But she's afraid.
Because there's
of the findings.
Yes.
Yeah. Of the findings. She's afraid of the findings. How do you not have findings even before this thing is reported? How do you increase your salary from 2 million to 5 million and there's nothing wrong about it? So she knows there's something wrong. Now come back to Palapa. She says the president is not employed because farming is not an employment. Now me, I'm asking, are you saying farmers are not entrepreneurs?
They're in business.
Agriculture. forms 24% of the GDP.
in the country.
And we are being told by a public protector with a law degree who should understand these dynamics. Who should understand these dynamics? Now, he says farming is not an employment. Cyril Ramaphosa, on the other hand, says, I am a farmer. And in the process of farming, I sold buffaloes. The public protector said, despite what you are saying, you are not employed, you are unemployed. And there's no conflict of interest. And me, I must ask, how do you read this? Now, after that, the Constitutional Court pronounces. Now it vindicates Mkhwebane to say she was right.
Very right.
She was right. Now, when Mkhwebane gets vindicated, Kholeka must start to say, am I still fit to hold the office? Nobody must ask her. She must sit down. You may get it wrong. It's fine. But remember, getting it right made sure that somebody is impeached. Now, when that somebody who was impeached is now vindicated by the highest court in the land, then we must come. Do we have to impeach you to prove that she was right? No. You have to walk away without us saying anything.
South Africans or leaders in Africa, they don't do that. Abana mahloni.
And that's the problem with us. That's the problem with us. There are things, even in normal home relationships. That's why there are divorces. You come to a point where you say, I need to walk away. I need to walk away. Let me fall on my sword. Remember, a man that divorces a wife is falling on his sword because he promised this wife a lifelong relationship. And this lifelong relationship is not working. So he's falling on his sword. Severes his ego and arrogance and walks away.
Or sometimes, maybe to put it properly, it's to be able to say that, this is not taking me anywhere. It's straining me, it's straining my resources, it's straining everything. Therefore, I'm better off out of it than inside of it.
Now, let's now take this thing to the president. Is he better off in or
as president?
As president.
The president should have done the honorable thing, resign.
Fall on his sword.
Resign and
walk away from this relationship. It's not assisting you.
Talk to me about this tendency of the media, for an example, not before I come to the media. OTA, Helen Suzman Foundation, and Save South Africa, and all these other organizations, they're not saying anything about the issues.
Of course, this morning they woke up. This morning, Helen Suzman Foundation woke up.
Oh.
Yeah, no, they are not talking about Ramaphosa. They say, we want to know why is Malema going to the JSC when he's convicted of a crime. Now I'm sitting here, I'm saying, it's a correct thing to ask, but wait until the appeal process. Unless you are saying to us, the appeal process is already finalized. Unless you are saying that to us, that the appeal process is finalized.
But before we go there, why are they quiet about Cyril, their project?
You do not bring a person, give him mandate. When he blunders on your mandate, you talk about him. Now you leave him. In hindsight, they are saying to him, look,
we are tired of you.
What is that Russian guy, that Rostov, or has already spoken out to say Cyril does not do what we think he should be doing. And what he is saying was said by de Klerk to say if Cyril does what he promised to do when he comes as a president, South Africa will be a better place. Now Cyril is not doing what he said.
What was the mandate?
2 mandates. One, maintain the status quo on economic direction. Don't change that. Those that are privatized, stay privatized. Don't get involved. Leave the economy in the hands of the minority. That's the first mandate. The second mandate was bring the ANC below 50% threshold. He has succeeded in both.
So they owe him a big bonus.
They owe him a big bonus. So they are not going to be frustrated by him in the process having 5 million, 8 million rand. That's for him to answer. That's for him to answer. They use you, and then, like chippies, they throw you. If he does not understand what they have done now, then he does not understand how the minority of this country operates.
You know, I hear this Matikizela thing, it's Iala. And then there is this thing. South Africans, black South Africans have a tendency. We march and we march and we march.
Sure.
Are there outcomes in these marches?
No, there will never be outcomes in the marches, up to a point where the marches will turn violent. And then the marches will be squashed because police could be put on top of the marches, which will be squashed. It's very close to that, right? But here's why South Africans march. In the absence of a critical thinking, analytic skills, you are then given something to live with because you can analyze. Now we analyze for you. We say, demonstration is the best democratic way of raising dissatisfaction. And then we capture that. We then move after that, we constitutionalize that, which is, there's nothing wrong. But our people are not ready to hold government to account. They're not ready.
The reason why I am asking you that is who is funding these things? Because much has got to eat, got to be transported, much has got to go back home. And now, if it is happening every time, there should be a Shabir Sheikh of some sort.
There should be
who's funding this. And why are they funding them? What do they want? Destabilize the country.
For us to understand the marchers, we must understand the challenges that our country faces. One of the challenges that our country faces is whether our country is ready for unity. Is it ready? No. Why am I raising that? Here's the basic truth. The same guy who funds MK, DA, BOSA, probably EFF, and all of them, for them to remain divided, is the same guy who funds the marchers. Because the marchers, as they march, politics have taught us, when they march, they start being alone. On the way, they are joined by Action SA. So Action SA has moved away from the politics of the day. And then they are joined by MK, right? And then MK joins them. And once they are joined by MK and Action SA, they draw criticism from the EFF. So the division between EFF, MK, and Action SA deepens. The marches can never benefit black people. It benefits the same people who are funding division of black people.
What is making black educated people or sober-minded people not to see this thing from afar and be able to say that Badlari Chesengat?
A hungry stomach knows no law. And we should never undermine that white man's statement. A hungry stomach knows no law. Look, it is impossible for Africans without economy to think normally. And people will say, what are you saying? I'm saying, for a brain to grow and function optimally, two things need to happen. You need to feed it the right education, that's one, and you need to feed that body the right food. And people don't realize how much food. Why do we eat junk as Africans? Why do we think eating at spare is better? It's because the food that are at spare, that are taken out of our houses, takes us away from the real food that actually brought us here. Let me give you an example. You know, the June 16 boys and girls that marched on that day differ substantially with the youth of today. What could be the case? Because the youth of today have got ChatGPT, they've got Google, they've got information on their fingertips. They can even mobilize easy with social media, but they aren't. They're not crippled first by the junk. They are not crippled by anything except the junk that they are fed from home.
And we are to say that the purpose then, the enemy was one. We were all united, and
Sure.
it didn't matter whether you were ZAP or UDF or PAC at that given time. The enemy was one. This monster apartheid that must go.
Sure.
Now the enemy now is our own self, because we are fighting amongst ourselves. And these people that studies human behavior and studied black people have realized that the blacks, these ones, they are easy. Throw money. Throw money, you will see their true colors.
Of course, that is the main problem, because we come from a premise that we are poor, hungry, uneducated, gullible. So all of those things taken together are actually the mindset of a black person. I always say to people, when you fight for black people, you must use one hand to fight the enemy. That's why it takes longer to free them. One hand to fight the enemy, and another hand to stop them from fighting you.
You're reminding me of this slave that was assigned to go kill another slave,
Sure.
another free man, and that man did it openly. We find it very easy to take instructions from whites than to take instructions from our own. We are our own enemies. Now here's the question. Why are we fighting or chasing economies that were established by other people? Why don't we set our own economies? Why don't we make sure that we circulate this money amongst ourselves before we could do anything else? So as these people, for an example, the taxi industry stopped the city of Matlosan. And I passed by town and I saw when townships are closed, there is no movement, there is no economy, there is no workforce, there is nothing. And therefore, imagine if we could start our own economy and start to say, we are no longer buying from them, we buy on our own. Bayasiqhela, bayasidelela. We are even, our bread is dependent. The 66 million people are depending on 6 million for bread.
Sure. I'm not a great supporter of the economy that must be shared amongst us. I'm a supporter of saying, leave whites with the economy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, leave whites with the economy.
Create our own.
Actually, let's not say leave whites. Leave whites and Indians with their economy. Because Indians behave as if
they are better people.
They are closer to us. They are not closer to us. They are not closer to us. They are where white people are. The difference between Indians and white people is that white people are openly racist, and Indians know how to cover.
They are worse because they even enslave our people.
They do. But here is what they do better. They call you my friend. They call you my friend. And that, my friend, for a black man, you do not use the name friend unless you mean you will die for me. That's what friendship is about. Yeah. That's why we give blind loyalty. Now, let's build our own economy. That economy will fall because we are the best users of what that economy is giving. We're the best. We just need to stop being high consumers and be high producers. And once we can balance that, we're done. This Pick and Pays, they'll fall on their own. We must first stop to be jealous that, so this is Malungana and Sons. And then, that time when I was looking for work, he didn't employ me. I'll buy from Pick and Pay, as if Pick and Pay employed you.
Yes, but I'm saying, what is causing this spirit that makes us to be anti-black, that makes us not to wake up? Is this the signs of a system?
It is a sign. Let me put it this way. Apartheid and colonization succeeded in two aspects. It created a black person who looks at another black person and says, I want to be the first. There's nothing wrong with being the first. But this black person who wants to be the first has got a spirit that says, I want to be the only.
So it cannot come with others.
Yeah.
Mm.
If you put crabs inside a bucket,
The one that tries to go up, they're going to bring it down.
we have a crab spirit.
Pull him down syndrome.
We have a pull down syndrome. It's a very big one. And for us to survive as black people, we need to confront that spirit to say, no, we can't continue this way.
That is Lepe, I differ with you. Our problem is we do not have elders and leaders that lead society properly. And other nationalities, they've got elders who they've got umkombandlela that will say this is the direction that we are taking as a people. Ons voor trekkers, ons gaan die directie, and everybody follows. We as the Jews, we go this direction, and everybody follows.
Sure. There was a guy, I saw him on TikTok. I just miss his name. I'm trying to think about it. Who said, when the apartheid government wants to appoint a minister of finance, they will never do it until they speak to the Burger Bond. Right?
Yes.
Who are we talking to? Us.
That's my point.
I agree with you 100%. Our people, hey, this is too much good. They knew that in 15 years' time, Thabo Mbeki will be an elder. So they give him shares when he's 3 years. They knew that Msimang is going to be an elder. So they give him shares. They know that Motante is going to be an elder. So they give him shares.
But it's betraying the masses.
Exactly. Now, once those guys are in shares,
they protect their interest.
They protect their interest more than they protect another man's interest. Remember, even at that level, Thabo Mbeki still has a crab mentality. That is why the cabinet of Thabo Mbeki has got a mentality that says, I'm going to say these things, I know they're going to put me in trouble, but it has got a mentality that says thinking is reserved only for that cabinet. The rest of the cabinets that came behind it cannot think. That's the first part. The second part, thinking is only reserved for the Mbekis. That's why you have Moeletsi Mbeki, who projects himself as a brilliant economist. And me, I'm asking, he's an economist, yes. Does he own means of production? No.
Rhetoric.
Me,
but in the rest of it, this is what black leaders are. Julius Malema comes and wants to stand for the black people. In the process, he stays in affluent suburbs. The kids are not in the townships, and he does not see what poor people are going through. 98% of our leaders, that's what is happening.
He says in a podcast to JJ Taba, he went to a township. They were going to buy African food now, you know. Sometimes I laugh when an African does not say, I went to a township to buy our food. He says, I went to a township to buy an African food, as if he is something else. Yeah. So I kept saying, hey, people are becoming clever. Huh? So he was going to buy African food. So they arrive in this house. It reminds him of his mother's because it looks exactly the same. He used a very nice word. He says, when I walked in, the smell was like my grandmother's house, the smell. He didn't say stench, because that's exactly the right word. Stench. The stench in there. The stench in there. He uses a very light English so that people don't understand. But if we have analytic skills, he's actually saying the stench in there. Because the next move is him saying, you'll find me at the car. But he's not saying, I can't stomach the stench. He's saying,
Wanka.
That's exactly. Now
so
he left.
Better.
So he left.
He can't stand
the stench. So he went to Then when the others came, he says, hey guys, I think I've lost consciousness. Now that's a Malema who was still a member of the ANC Youth League. That's a Malema who was trying to build his wealth and whatever. He was already thinking like that. Now we have a Malema who stays in Sante. What do you think he feels when he walks into Alexander and he crosses the sewage, the sewer in Alexander? The stench in Alexander.
The smoke that comes from Alexander.
He will never stomach it. Exactly. Now, what is leadership? Leadership, I'll argue, is not staying at the township, because you can still stay there and consciousness leaves you. But is if you leave township, you realize where you left the township, and you have you must. And I'm not going to say you must have the courage. You must have the audacity, because it's deliberate. You must have the audacity to go and say, I'm going to change my street, and I'm going to change my block.
I'm going to influence change and use my own resources
to do that,
to better our people's lives. I'm going to support these businesses in the corners and make sure that they get funding. I'm going to make sure that Koko Banbani's Makwinya grows into something else and all that. We don't have those stories.
We need those stories. We need those stories as of yesterday, because you cannot turn a big entrepreneur and make him a small entrepreneur. You can't take a small entrepreneur. In other words, I'm saying small businesses are effective as small businesses, but let's enhance them to just create, instead of 2 jobs, make them 4. If we can make them 5, fine. But let it be fixed on that consistently. Now we are fighting for tuck shops. Do we have people who are readily available if the tuck shops were to be vacated tomorrow to take over the tuck shops?
We are not ready.
We are not ready. We have never been ready as Black people. Something about us makes us not to be ready all the time.
But Slepe, isn't this, for an example, supposed to be the project of government?
Sure.
That makes entrepreneurs. Let's make an example. Anyway, I've got a tuck shop in Jobeto.
Congratulations.
And it's
What are you selling?
Everything that they said.
I'll go and buy there.
Please do. Sure. So one of the things that are important is we've got capacity.
We do.
We've got capacity, and we can note them one by one.
Sure.
The biggest problem is the support is not there. These people are circulating a lot of money from their government, and it's doing a lot, because if they say that the more than 70 billion, it's circulating amongst the tax shops, then it means it's big business.
It's very big business, which is allowed to launder money out of South Africa.
Yes.
Because it is not controlled by the banking system of South Africa.
Yes.
And it is a deliberate thing, because the illicit monies that are going out are also supported by the banking system. And the banking system says we cannot now take another burden of dealing with illicit. Once we are caught, we might be in trouble. Our license might be.
And also products tends to be illicit products that come in. And also products that are killing our people.
Exactly.
You're going
to... one of the biggest mistakes that we're having, one among the Black families, is that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, probably Saturday, we don't sit together as a family and eat together and talk. Let's talk internal affairs. We were discussing with my wife where she works, where is also where I work. They say we must depoliticize that environment. And me, I'm saying, but Sankara teaches that a man who's military and is not politically clouded, that man can become an askari.
And he's dangerous.
And he's dangerous because it is those guys that give blind loyalty. It is those guys that give blind loyalty. So I'm saying to my wife, this nonsense is not working in this family. Here, we talk politics full time. When we sit down and meet, my first sentence is, hey, are we here? Yes. We've groceries here. Yeah. We were in the kitchen. Yes. What are you feeding my mind? We need to talk.
And it's like a simple thing. We are prices are escalating. Diesel is very expensive.
Totally.
Now, as it goes up, it's going to affect the prices of food. And as a result, it is politics that are there.
It's politics. Now, if anybody says don't talk politics,
What must we talk? Soccer.
what must we talk?
Soccer. Weather.
Yeah, we can't talk weather. Because weather, the moment you talk weather, you are saying it's cold, you need to go and buy jerseys. So yeah, it's politics. Because the moment you talk about jersey, we must now think, who is making good jerseys? And then, do you know what the brain of a black person says? Polo. It doesn't say Mantov. It says polo.
But remember that it's like we correctly said, that until we take back the economy and match polo on tit for tat, because what polo is selling is something that we can do.
My mother must rest in peace. I have 2 jerseys. None of them I've destroyed. 2 of them, black and white. The white one has got a stripe here.
Suit by her.
Done by my mother. And if Maslepe could do that, I am proposing Uguti Abafas Betu can do that. But they are too hooked up in Adidas and in polo, and they are hooked up. So until black people become deliberate, you see, this word deliberate, that is not known. The vocabulary of black people doesn't have deliberate. You need to be deliberate.
You know, that's
in a strange way.
Listen to this one. I normally ask myself, if you are a lady and you have put in your head fake hair, Brazilian hair, né? And amongst yourself you are with Brazilians, true Brazilians, Indians, and white people, and they look at you, what must they think of you?
If you say Brazilian hair, you make it look better. Maybe we should define what this hair is. The Brazilian ladies, when they sometimes do not get married, and they have what we call senyama. They cut their hairs
and sell it to us.
So when you are a South African lady, beautiful, and you are wearing somebody's hair who died some times ago, who you do not know whether he died normal or abnormal, and us who are so spiritual wears a hair of a person who you do not know how it will affect your spirituality. Hence, we are who we are. Sometimes it's a simple thing. Let me put it out there. I'll get criticism, is fine. Like I got criticism about Kaizer Chiefs jersey. Let me put it out there. Yeah, let me put it out there, because sometimes you have to put these things out there so that people can understand. 80% of the people that create men clothes are actually gay.
True.
And very few people know about it. And a lot of people who are creating women clothes are lesbians. And very few people understand why. A lesbian woman who pretends to be a man would want to see what men see in women. Hence, you've got trousers of our wives called low cut. What does it put outside if it's a low cut?
Yeah.
And I'm asking this thing knowing that women are going to react. Hey, his wife does not have figures. Mine has got. And I always tell her, hey, this low cut is worrying me, because I understand the brain behind the low cut. Now, you come to men. What is this person thinking when he creates for you a skinny jean? What does he want to see? This gay person.
The figure and everything.
Now we talk real business.
The figure and Eden.
And everything.
Yes.
Fairly displayed.
And we wear skinny jeans.
Fairly displayed.
My daughter.
Hey,
Oga.
When you are like me with a reverse part being in the front, and you stand there, you look like a pit bull.
That stands
up. Yeah. So, but on a serious note, these are challenges that we have.
But if our audience, on a very serious note now, if our ordinary people, black people, cannot fathom the issue of hair, the issue of food they eat, ne? What about the things that comes underwater? That what about the things that comes underwater that is influencing their DNA, their thinking, and everything? Because the drinks that we drink, the lotions that we put, the perfumes that we put on, and all that, if they are done from darkness and they come into our shores, spiritually we become blinded, and hence we are who we are. Some countries deliberately refuses second-hand clothes because they know there's something about the second-hand clothes.
Sure.
And Runa, because we love to be given. We call it kotunusa. We go kotunusa, we get these coats, we got all these other things. We don't know the spirit behind some of these things.
But do you know all the relaxers, hair relaxers? Do you know what they contain? All of them. Placenta. You know what is a placenta? If you have done biology, do you know what is a placenta?
There's a child there that has died. From
that thing is the one that straightens the hair of a child inside the mother's womb. So when our wives are giving birth at hospital, they take the placenta and grind it into something. Go and check without making.
I agree with you.
Go and check. You say hair relaxer with placenta. It's there. It's written black on white, and people read it and pass. It means nothing to them.
Ignorant.
It means nothing to them.
Ignorant.
So until we fix these small things that are actually making us gullible as South Africans and Africans in general, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah. But that's why I'm saying if we are where we are, maybe agree with me when I say the state of politics in our country, it's spiritual.
It is. It is.
And as a result, in spirituality, you make sure that people become dumb, and you make sure that there's chaos so as you prosper.
Yes. I'm not going to say it in a way because people have got a way of criticizing religion. But when there's chaos, demons thrive because they cannot thrive when there's no chaos.
True.
Sure. Equally, the spirit of corruption creates a problem. And in that chaos, corruption enters. You can see that corruption is a spirit. It's not something that you can solve by taking people to jail. No. For you to solve corruption, you need to deal with the spiritual issues of black people.
That is why then, leaders get to be chosen, and they will choose the leaders of their same spirit.
Sure.
That will go behind closed door and follow what they are doing.
Without being critical of democracy, our biggest problem is we demonize even things that the Western world has learned from us. We demonize them. Let me give you an example. Queen Elizabeth. He's a monarch. Africa has got monarchs. How many of them are as prominent as Queen Elizabeth?
No.
Right.
But Queen Elizabeth comes from the lineage of reptilians.
Sure.
And these reptilians, they shift, and also they are not human because they want to take what is inhuman. In one of the programs, we once spoke about the Neanderthal people and the true people, and we came to a conclusion that the Neanderthal people will always come after the gift of the right people. Hence the war in the world. Darkness and light cannot be there.
Correct. And you know, sometimes I sit there and I say, I wonder what happened to Africans. Do they still realize what they have in their hands? Because all of these things that we're talking about, there are people that can teach them even much better in the African people. But we've chosen to ignore them. Credo Mutwa was one of them. I may not have agreed with 100% of what he said, but I agreed at least with 80%. Because his predictions, I'm not going to say prophecies, his predictions were spot on in many ways. In many ways. But the problem is that when we are given something to run on, we forget what we were told. That's an African spirit. What you put in here, when you get a new thing, that one falls away, you put a new thing here. So we never benefit, we never grow, we never put together anything. We never put together anything. That's the problem with that. And not only him, there were teachings that were within the Zulu nations. And the Zulu nation, let me not even say the Zulu nation, there are teachings within the Nguni tribes, which the biggest of them is Zulu nation, the Nguni tribe. There are teachings that are teaching us how to become who we are. We decided they mean nothing. We walked away. All our children, including mine, are in a model C school. Those that are worse,
They're telling you that you're lying.
Yeah, those that are worse have now been taken to the private school. That's worse. Yeah. The private school links you with a right university when you have the right brain. Universities don't just throw people around. They go select. Say, we want this one to be a lawyer. They are told by the school he's got a brilliant mind. Now, when you go to a bachelor's degree, you go there with a clean mind that can be influenced. Now, what they give you there, sometimes I ask myself, we have politicians with PhDs, but have they written anything that differs from what we have?
No, they quote things that are there. It's a rhetoric.
So if Ngozi excites us, he excites us with what he teaches, and what he teaches is not purely his.
It's a waste of time.
Let's look at all these things that that I'm talking about. So people should not say we are criticizing everybody left, right, and communism has got a white guy.
Started by them.
That's why I'm saying there's a white guy. Socialism
by them.
White guy. Capitalism,
them.
White guy. So every time you become an expert of the three,
and quote all these people,
you are actually white in a black skin. You're actually white in a black skin because we're not developing. Why don't we take communism, socialism, put them together, and develop a program,
a new program,
which we will call Africanism, and let's see where it takes Africa. I was shocked the other day. I'm not so sure whether I mentioned it in the previous talk. I was shocked. I did not even a research. I went into Google and I said, how much does South Africa owe IMF? 9 trillion. Our budget is 3.1 trillion. So we owe 3 times.
Are you aware how much US owes?
Forget USA. USA is owing itself. We are not owing. We owe white people. White people owe themselves. So they can stand up and write their own debt out.
That is sleeping. The system in the world, prior 1994, there was a strategy. Go to universities, give them bank accounts. They must forget about fighting for this country. They must focus on their debt. So the moment you indebt countries and make sure that every country is going to look for an investor, instead of you owning the minerals, they are owed by the private countries. That 9 trillion, it's nothing. If we can own all the minerals in this country, we can pay them like Burkina Faso is doing, Namibia is doing, and other countries are doing. The biggest problem is the system that is there that they use. But these systems are systems that comes from the dark world.
Of course, and they are designed for us to remain completely enslaved. Yeah. Because we do not want to face the truth and say, but this system is not assisting us.
Do you think,
as Africans?
Let's come back to South Africa as we are to conclude. Do you think the ANC one day will change the status quo, because if you take over government and you still follow what was followed by the previous governments of apartheid, it's the same. But if you start and change everything and says, look, whoa, we are starting this thing and we are doing it very differently.
Do you know the verse that says, if you are lukewarm, I will spit you out? It's in the book of Revelation. The ANC is lukewarm.
Who can change? We can't count Malema in. It's also a sellout.
Yeah.
Who can we trust? Who can we
We
trust?
need a combination, because you can't even trust Zungula himself from his background of Christianity. You can't trust him. South Africa's got a crisis. You can trust Zungula 30%, you can trust Malema 30%, you can trust Mashaba 5%, you can trust, I don't know who else you can trust. Maybe you can trust 2% my money. Forget about this guy Mzansi, is nowhere to be found. At least my money has got. But if you trust my money, trust Israel. So we are left with this.
So what does this mean?
It means,
where are we going?
It means if we were to vote correctly, we need to vote for these two parties and say, work together. Because otherwise, I don't trust Jacob Zuma. Not because I don't like him, but you know,
like him. You like him?
Yeah, the old man. Yeah, I like Mshinwa.
Oh.
Yeah,
you like it when he sings?
He's a brilliant president. We have never had such a president who can sing the way he sings. The only challenge that we have with Jacob Zuma is when he started with RET, he mixed it too much with people who were not interested to see it flourish. It was not a bad idea. RET, it was not a bad idea. The problem was Zuma was already compromised. He was compromised. But here's what I like about him. You know, he's the only president that could stop white monopoly capital from working for a day to come and say Zuma must go. And I respect him for that. And I can tell you now, if Malema was to ascend and become a president, white monopoly capital will stop a week to get rid of him. Because they are afraid of him. And because they are afraid of him, you know, when white monopoly capital or white people in general start to speak about you and any mistake of you gets blown up by their media and you are taken to court for everything, they are saying to you, we see a potential in you that could frustrate us.
But Dennis Lebe, we know white people also love this thing of spreading fear that is non-existent. And as a result, they will tell their kids, their wives, and whatever. Because as we mingle with them, they get to be surprised that we are as smart. They were never told that we are smart. We know mathematics. We could be scientists and all these other things.
Yeah, because
they've been taught as kids. They've been taught that we are barbaric, we are uncivilized, and. So they get to be surprised that no, we are not what they have been taught. So this is how white people continue to strive.
Yes, and they are very good at dividing us. You see, currently we say, who can be the Messiah? Right. There are two things that we are doing. We still externalize the Messiah. We want somebody else.
The reason why I was saying that Lepe was Ezra what would happen to black people if we could just resolve that? Let's have two organizations of black people, make it law. No, we disband all organizations. We want two organizations. Buisanang Relifa 12 months, right? Whilst the military takes over this country. And then from there, let's go to the polls. Only 4 organizations of black people and white people, and winners takes all. Then we are done, because for as long as we are here.
We must also come with a law that says if you vote for a white person, you must leave the country. We must come with that law, because our meeting will be disrupted by those that can be bought by money to go and vote otherwise. That's the problem. But otherwise, yes, I agree with you. We had something that was coming. I don't know where it ended. It's called National Dialogue.
I heard Ramaphosa saying it's coming, babe.
Yeah. you know, those guys, they were talking about national dialogue. When we get up for national dialogue, we wanted to contribute, then they said Madlanga. Now we are focused on Madlanga. We are glued to our TVs. We want to know who's going to be arrested.
But the national dialogue at one stage we spoke about its budget. What are we going to dialogue? Because president goes out and taking this parliament to the people. It's a dialogue.
It's a dialogue.
So what type of a
But the
dialogue?
problem is that taking parliament to the people comes with perceived outcomes. We do not go there with an open mind to say we want to hear what our people say. I saw the Lindsay, by the way, to say some of the politicians
They ran away.
ran away. I don't want to name them because I might be sued.
No, we can. They are mentioned in the bill.
They ran
These
away.
people, they ran away.
They ran away. Now, the politicians of ANC ran away from ANC. And we sit here and we shine. We say ANC has won an award. The schools that were in the farms, most of them ended in standard 6.
Mm.
Now, when there's a clever child in the family, they would say, "Hey, kom,
Plus work.
we must rearrange the contract." Right. Why were they doing that? Because they would place him as a supervisor who looks a bit white because he talks their language. He engages with them at a level that they have allowed him to engage in. They tell him 2% of the truth that he must know. He runs with that 2%, he runs with 1% back to tell his own people. But his own people don't trust him because he's an in-house slave and they are in the field. And as a result, and that's how apartheid succeeded. And that's how they're succeeding even now. Even now. This thing of 400 people sitting in parliament and discussing about us. Why do we need the 400 people in Cape Town? We're already having about 30 of them in the Northwest. They are called provincial legislature. Why do we have another 400 sitting in?
It's a system that is it's a system that is made to fail.
Exactly. Exactly. Now those people are paying themselves. They determine their own salary. And you know, I love when black.
Let's go back there. What is the future of this country?
The future of this country.
Do we have a leader? Do we have correct people?
We do.
Do we have who?
We do have correct people. It's just that the black people, right, like to operate in the shadow of others, right? Within the EFF, there are great people who can strive, but they are too afraid of
the dictator.
The dictator. Within,
they said we are EFF. Now what we are saying, Julius Malema is a dictator. But Juju, you are dictator until you surround yourself with people that will be able to tell you to your face.
Not that Floyd told him straight to the face. They were also not necessarily. That's why Floyd copied whatever that he did, created his own party with the same communication tools that Malema had. Now he's in charge. If you stray aside, they kick you out of the party. Zuma is doing exactly the same.
Now Shaba is doing the same.
Every single one of them. Those people that are saying Malema is a tyrant are all of them tyrants. It's just that some are clever. They start to have a process of saying.
You said you are voting PA, Masoya.
No, I will never vote PA, and I will tell you why. It's a basic truth that I will never do. When I vote in Datumalungana, I nearly said something, but I'm not afraid of them. All I'm saying is I cannot support a policy position that has got no future in extricating black people from the conditions that they are. At least 50% of the policy must convince me. And let me tell you, I have never voted for the ANC. But when I read the policies of the ANC, they convinced me 40%. That's why I became a distant supporter of the ANC continuing. I didn't vote for them. I would never vote for them.
We need that vote.
Where?
No, donate it somewhere.
No, I voted not for them.
Oh.
But I voted every year. I'm voting even this year. Even in the local municipality, I'm going to vote. And voting in the local municipality, here's the challenge of voting in the local municipality. The ward councillor that is deployed has got no skills. And I know that because I've spoken to them. This ward councillor, some of them are my friends.
Para.
So-
Brave.
Brave, this talk.
Hey.
But we need to surround them with the truth. These guys, we should not leave them. We vote and then we leave. We vote and then we come closer. And I'm happy because 2 years after my vote, exactly a year after my vote, I'll be on pension. So I'll be able to talk openly what I think and what I believe. Let me talk like Mkwanazi and say, no, sometimes we are ready for this thing, for our people to just see the light. I'm going to talk openly. And this radical conversation is going to be plainly radical. It will only take people with stomach to sit and listen to what I'm going to say. Because I've got those politics in my mind. But for the sake that...
So no matter how much I push these questions,
I will never answer them. I will always slow you down, divert cleverly, so
distract.
Yeah, give you something else when you are tweeting about something else. But the day will come that when you say, which party do you think can take leadership now? I will tell you openly, this party and these are the following. And this one will fail because of 1, 2, 3. Our parties have got one common problem that we need to deal with.
Are you now honest?
I'm very honest. They've got one common problem.
What is this?
Their politics are personality politics. Not principle and policy politics. The day they become principled and policy, you will not have a person defending a leader who took a firearm and shot in the air. You will not have him. You will not have a leader who hides money you see, you will not have that. Why? Because you are not voting for personality.
I saw a picture of Nelson Mandela and this leader of DA and Menel while he was still young. So they groomed them very early and very young.
Sure.
What does it mean?
It means Mandela is who we have always said he is.
It's allowed.
I'm not going to use that word, but I'm saying his strategy somewhere, I was sitting with my wife today and watching at Winnie Mandela. And I was saying, how do you come out of prison and leave such a radical woman? For who? For who? And saying that does not mean, I'm not saying Winnie did not make mistakes. But I'm saying this lady kept your surname alive when you were in prison for 18 years. Forget the 27 is alive. For 18 years. You were there. And this lady kept your surname alive. She had her own surname. She could have said, I'm a Digizel. But she didn't. She kept the surname. And it is her that make the surname known in South Africa and in Africa before Nelson Mandela. When Nelson Mandela came, and let me put it out there about Nelson, and I love my old timer a lot. But when he came, there was a script behind. And when he acted that script, the media of the enemy made him an icon. So they made Nelson Mandela.
Like they do with Ramaphosa.
You cannot find fault with Nelson. But I'm saying to you today, he made 5 State of the Nations address. Go extract all of them and tell me which one had power to change South Africa. Wait until I go on pension. Because then I will tell you, this State of the Nation address said the following. It had no interest. The moment he pushed the agenda of reconciliation at the expense of justice, he sold out.
Remember, this is the same person who Mama Winnie says At one stage, Mandela was proposing that she must come and stay with her in jail.
Yes.
When he was at Portsmouth.
Yes.
And Mama Winnie told him that this struggle that you entered this for, it has changed. You are selling in Bombay a struggle, and the revolution, it's not true. And as a result, the people will revolt one day and see what was coming. She was a very bitter woman who realized that all these people that have suddenly mushroomed. When Mandela comes out of prison with Mama Winnie, I see this boy holding, or this man holding an umbrella, that he was launching himself. When Mandela speaks, he's holding a mic. You see, he was strategic. The man has said, hey,
at an early age,
this is your role.
Yeah.
We understand.
Yeah.
See, I disrupt the land.
Yeah.
And that project, it's a 50-year project.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, because now he's 70. It started when he was 20.
It's a 50-year project.
Now it has materialized. And let me put it here. The ANC is not even aware that the process has reached a point.
But if they are not aware, then their education is useless. Their observation is useless. Their discernment is useless, because they should have known better until they had intelligence. They're supposed to know that, listen, this is what we are going to fall into. And as a result, this is where we are going to. Why did they kill Krisani? Because Krisani told them the truth and told them that, you see, these German cars and everything that you are beginning to, and these shares that you are beginning to in these mines and everything, it shows that your interest, you are diverting comrades. Then they realize, well, this one is crazy. It's our time to eat.
When they were interviewing Janice Walsh, I thought he would openly say who gave him the location of Chris Hani in that field day. Because no one could have known that Chris Hani would go into buy a newspaper.
Except?
I must hear it.
No, say it. Except Zuma.
There are two people who could have known.
Yes.
Jacob Zuma would have known. And this other minister that he was very close, that was not Twikyo. There's another minister that was a minister in the presidency when
Matthew Boss.
No, Matthew Boss. I'll remember. He normally talks about the death of Krisani. He was there. He was one of the people that were very close to Krisani. I just forgot his name. But those are the two people that could have known. Now, what we now must say, out of the two, who was honest enough to be trusted by Grace and who was not?
That is, I read a book. There's a guy in Klerksdorp who was at Quadro in Angola in the camps.
Here, locally.
Yes, and he would explain how they started killing each other.
Sure.
And as a result, these people have got issues.
A lot of them. Not only killed each other, how they came back to carry out the duties of Mkondo Sizwe and slept with each other's wives.
Betray each other.
Big time.
This brotherhood.
Big time.
Until next time. Being smart or dumb, you are born in this thing. You will die in it until you begin to open your eyes, open your ears, and begin to see things differently. For evil to prevail is for good people to keep it. To sit and do nothing
about it.
Thank you so much.